What's up, guys? Yeah, what do you guys think? Is this guy alive, dead, deceased? What's going on? Welcome, everybody. It's Felony Fridays. Felony Fridays, man. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Give me 1 second. Let me just update something in the title. Okay, let me check in with you guys. How are you doing? Oh, the music's still going. I found a new track I kind of like. Good evening. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing great. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Quite a bit of updates to talk about with this Travis Decker situation. I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. It's coming. Make sure you're following my iCkEdMeL Clips channel because I don't know what it is, allergy or something. I am posting a lot of updates there. Okay, so make sure you don't miss out. Subscribe to the second page. All right, subscribe to the second page. Posting a lot of updates. Okay, this heartbreaking thing here with a family video. I posted this earlier today. The mother, Whitney, posted these pictures of the kids, like a video of the kids on TikTok, I guess. And you can hear a man talking in the background, and it was just kind of, sad and eerie. So make sure you're following because I'm posting a bunch of different things in there. I also posted an update to the shooting from last night. We covered this cop that was shot and killed. Really sad. There was the audio dispatch. There was a press conference that we didn't get to cover last night, and single mother, deceased and stuff. It's just a really bad situation. So I updated that, and also just these other bits of information. This information about the former squad mate coming forward and talking about how Travis's behavior started to become odd, and before. This is why I'm kind of thinking he's alive, and we're going to get into it. Some people think he's dead. Some people think he's alive. This person, the former squad mate, said that Travis started removing people from his friends list, and also started deleting pictures and videos and stuff. I just don't understand why he would do that. Also, the Google searches, which we're going to talk about. Thank you, guys. Which we're going to talk about in a minute. He was searching how to move to Canada or going to Canada. I feel like he had plans or was planning to escape and to be on the run. Unless it's a psyop and he offed himself and he wants people to think that he ran and he's just there the whole time. I'm great. Thank you, Kel. I'm really good. Really good. Losing a little bit of weight. I fit in this shirt. I haven't fit in this shirt in a long time. I was able to put this shirt on today. I heard about the guy was captured. We'll talk about that at some point. He was captured. The Hardin, I think. The former police chief that was arrested. Yeah, he got caught. So let's just start off with an official post from the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. We'll start with that. And this was posted a couple hours ago. They're doing updates, I guess, daily or multiple times. And it said more than 100 officers, agents, and deputies search and investigate. More than 500 tips from the public, along with an in-depth investigating by detectives, continue to narrow the focus on the joint operation seeking Mr. Decker. Dozens more law enforcement professionals, both tactical and administrative, have converged on Chelan County and joined the investigation and the search for Travis Decker. Despite the many challenges faced in the complex ongoing murder investigation, morale and effort remains high, extremely high within the staff at the command post. The investigation operations continue as new surveillance video, Photos and tips from the public are continuously surfacing, which aids in decision making. Out of abundance of caution, we have been given notice to and are working in conjunction with our surrounding counties in the event that Mr. Decker moves through the forest into the jurisdiction. Additionally, the more agencies we can get involved, the more the public remains vigilant. So call 911, do not approach him. They posted the phone number there. And there's been sightings. There's been Shellan. It's called Shellan. Thank you. There's been sightings of this guy. I mean, Layla messaged me earlier today, and somebody had thought they saw this guy, but it was a false call again. It was a false, it wasn't really him. They also said, and this was last night, I was going to post this on the Clips channel, Travis Decker suspect in child murder case. And listen, I've had some people comment. This is the other thing. Some people have commented and told me there's some people that believe that he didn't do this. I've only seen 2 people in the comments, but I've seen some people are saying, how do you know that he did it? And what if it was somebody else? And what if somebody murdered the family? And, you guys are jumping to conclusions, and people are saying this, they're saying that. There's a couple of them. After the live stream is over, I've had a couple people say they don't think he did this. I do believe he did this. Of course, he's going to have his day in court if they find him or if he's not deceased. I think, to me, this adds up to the decline of his mental health and what was going on with him. The Shellan County Sheriff's Office is actively investigating the murder of 3 children, allegedly by Travis Decker, who remains at large. They say that he may be in Okanagan County, specifically near Pacific Crest Trail. CCSO has been actively investigating the case and executing search warrants on properties and electronic devices linked to Decker. Residents, especially those in remote areas, are advised to stay alert. He's considered armed and dangerous. They emphasize the importance of community vigilance, advising residents to lock doors and windows. I don't understand this. Keep blinds open. I posted that actually on the second channel last night, on the Clips channel, and somebody commented. I was wondering that too, like why keep the blinds open? I don't know, and leave exterior lights on at night. I understand why I leave the exterior lights on, and I don't understand why I leave the blinds open. That should creep me out. If you ever been like in the sticks and it's just completely dark outside and there's light inside and the shades are open or the windows, I had the window open one night. It was really creepy. I didn't realize there wasn't a mesh and there was some weird ass sound out in the woods. Whoa! So something, I don't know what it was. I was like, oh shit. Like I jumped up and I'm looking and I can't see. The inside is illuminated, but the outside is completely pitch black. And so whatever's out there can see me, but I can't see it. You know what I mean? Just like how cops have those high beams and they're shining in your face when they're walking in with guns so you can't see. I don't know, man. I don't know why would I have the blinds open? Hell no, that's just closed, man. I'll have the lights on, but I'm not gonna have the blinds open, man. I don't want you to know where I'm at. What's up with that? Maybe it's a typo. Maybe it is a typo. Hey, who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe it was a typo or something. Keep blinds open. All right, and so this is the new information here. So this came out today. Google searches for how to move to Canada cited in Travis Decker's federal case. And so since they're saying this is why I'm leaning towards this guy's alive. Also, they have like new pictures here. I feel like this guy looks different in every picture. This is Travis? I feel like in every picture, this guy looks different. This one, he's bald. This one, he has hair. Let me just pull up some of the other ones. This one, I don't know. This one, he looks different too. Who the hell is this? My man has like different looks. It's disturbing because, and we'll get into what the mother had to say. The whole premeditation thing, man, plotting and planning to kill these kids and then go on the run. A federal arrest warrant has been issued for Travis, the man accused of kidnapping and killing his daughters. After authorities say he may have fled the area, may be attempting to escape prosecution. According to a newly filed affidavit from the U.S. Marshals Service, Deputy Keegan Stanley Decker is charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. The charge comes in addition to existing state charges that include 3 counts of aggravated first-degree murder and 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping. The U.S. District Court in Eastern Washington describes the intensive investigation following the disappearance and the death of the Decker's kids. The girls were last seen on May 30th during a scheduled custody visit. Yeah, we know all that. Avid outdoorsman. He's trained in long distance moving, navigation, and living off the grid. Investigators also noted that Decker once lived off the land in a remote terrain for more than 2 months. So he's experienced in this, knows how to survive. Canada has a lot of mountains too, right? And terrain and stuff. You can go out into Canada mountains. I don't know if it's too cold out there, though. So the other thing with the searches, so according to the affidavit, Decker conducted a series of Google searches on May 26. I feel like I need a timeline. Let's see, I think I have something here. Okay, May 26, court documents reveal Decker conducted online searches. So May 26, he does the how does a person move to Canada, how to relocate to Canada, and jobs Canada. How the hell? He think he's going to get a job after this shit? On May 29th, Decker's cell phone data indicates he traveled to Rock Island Campground, where he murdered. So, oh, yeah, that's the thing, too. So, the day before the murders, he went to that same campground before his scheduled visitation. And so that was May 29th. May 30th, it says the morning, Decker returned to Wenatchee. He picked up the girls at 5 p.m. The girls were expected to return home. Their mother, Whitney, reported them missing after unsuccessful attempts. So the day before, I guess he was out there. Who knows what he was doing? This guy, I don't think he killed himself. I don't. I was thinking that now, seeing all this premeditation and planning, and I don't know how in his mind he's like, all right, I'm going to kill the girls, then I'm going to go to Canada, I'm going to get a job. He also visited the official Canadian government job website. You know, something's not clicking up in his head. Wow. Okay. He may have been planning to flee the country. The affidavit notes that the location of the girls' remains is less than 12 miles from the Pacific Crest Trail, which stretches to the Canadian border. Oh, so that's what they were talking about. That's why they're thinking this dude, what is he going to walk up to Canada, I guess? Let's see. Oh, yeah. So if you look, let's look at the map real quick. So Wenatchee's over here. Wenatchee. This is the how you say this? Okanagan County. I gotta find where this trail is at. But if you look right here, Canada's right there. He could just climb the mountains, or I don't know, stay in the rough terrain and make his way across the border. I didn't realize how close they were. Oh, we're gonna get into the car accident thing. We'll get into the wreck. Just give me a bit. We're working there. So, okay. The U.S. Marshals believe Decker may have been headed into remote terrain with the intention of escaping law enforcement. The Chelan County Superior Court judge issued a warrant for Decker's arrest on June 3rd, ordering no bail until his first appearance in court.
Now at 4, crews have been searching around the clock for the 32-year-old man accused of killing his own 3 daughters. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for Fox 13 News at 4. I'm Matthew Smith.
And I'm Hannah Kim. The manhunt comes as we're now learning that Travis Decker recently searched for information about how to relocate to Canada. Fox 13's Shira Masuzawa joins us from Leavenworth, where those search efforts stand right now.
circling up above.
Helicopters going back and forth.
This is what those camped out at the Icicle River RV Resort have been seeing in the air and on the ground.
There's been a police presence, and last night, late at night, there was a searchlight down on the water, so I know the police were searching here.
They're searching for 32-year-old Travis Decker after his daughters Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia failed to come home after a planned visitation with him. Their bodies were later found near his abandoned pickup truck. Investigators now believe he could be attempting to cross state or even international borders.
I personally don't think he'd be coming out in public.
Fox 13 obtained this criminal complaint against Decker, charging him with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. In it, federal investigators say Decker used his Google account on May 26th, just 4 days before his visitation with his daughters, to search for information about relocating to Canada and visited.
That's insane that this dude really thought he was going to go over there and get a job.
Decker used his Google account on May 26th.
That's wild.
Just 4 days before his visitation with his daughters, to search for information about relocating to Canada and visited official Canadian job sites. The documents state the area where the crimes happened are near the Pacific Coast Trail and lead into Canada. And given Decker's skills to survive
It's just a Pacific Coast. This is Crest, right? Pacific
are
Crest,
near
right?
the Pacific Coast Trail and lead into Canada. And given Decker's skills to survive the woods for days, even weeks, investigators say he could be actively attempting to not get caught. For Lisa Malone Gooden, she hopes authorities find Decker soon.
This is horrendous. Nothing like most people would ever hear about or experience. But, you know, my thoughts just go to the family, to the mother especially.
And just a reminder, the encampments and the surrounding areas are closed until June 18th. You can see a sign behind me with that message as well because of this search. But authorities say if you see Decker, do not approach him. Call 911. In Leavenworth, Shira Matsuzawa, Fox 13 News.
Pacific Crest Trail. They pull up this map of it. I'm just kind of curious. The Underground Railroad for this guy. Let's see. Oregon, California. This is the Pacific Coast Trail. Okay, Washington. Leavenworth. There's Leavenworth right here. I want to get a little maybe more of a little more detailed, but Leavenworth. They think he might be on that trail or maybe going along that trail. I wonder if he must have some type of electronic, though. I wonder to keep in touch of like track of what the search efforts and where they're moving on him. Let's see if I can find. I wonder if there's actually a. Let's see. Pacific Coast Trail, every single step documentary. I want to see what this looks like just to get a visual.
We're not quite back on trail. Day 55, I think. It was a whole ordeal getting out of Bishop. We took a bus, an hour-long bus ride from Bishop to Independence, which is a small town closer to the trail. Then we were trying to hitchhike for like an hour and couldn't get a ride up to.
Wow.
I'll be able to film.
Oh, what part of the Pacific Trail they're on?
The fuckers are still down there. Over 10,000 feet.
Pacific Coast Trail. There's another map right here. Oh, it's the same map. Looks like you could take multiple paths up there, though. Oh, the red one here. You know a lot about PCT? Rag, you want to hit me up? You want to call for a little bit? I'm just curious about the terrain, what it's like out there, the weather, the wildlife. You know, is it how the are there a lot of people walking the path? It seems like it's maybe popular, but are there a lot of people out there? Washington, okay, Leavenworth. The red is the PCT. It's not that far. I mean, over here doesn't look that far, but I'm sure it's maybe hundreds of miles, right? Yes, hitchhiking is very common on the PCT. Okay, okay. Here, I'm just gonna do the Google Voice for now, so I don't have to. Sign into that other app and do all this stuff. Here, I'm gonna put the number there. Rank. Don't I have you on Discord? Do I have a on Discord or somewhere? I wonder if it's easier to do Discord. Let's see. I don't know if I have you there or not. Is this you? Let's see. Oh no, it's Raging Cajun. All right, I'll just drop it here. That chick has been every time she comes in, says the same thing. I didn't mean to put a 3 in front of it. So the border's right there. They're thinking he might have been planning to take this all the way up into Canada, and then I guess he was planning on getting a job, maybe possibly starting a whole new life.
News, I'll send it back to you.
Shira, thank you. And right now, support is pouring in for the girl's mother, Whitney Decker. Money from a GoFundMe is set up for her to help with expenses and legal costs.
Oh, then she's at 1.1 million. Whitney Decker. Let's take another look at this. Let's take another look at the GoFundMe, and then we'll move on. I think maybe to the next topic. I mean, not the next topic, but the next, tidbit. Whitney Decker, GoFundMe. 1.1 million. It's been up to 1.3. Wow. Massive, massive support. He's too smart to be hiking on PCT. That's what I was. Yeah, okay. There's no way, right? That's probably busy, traveled a lot.
Following just, again, the unimaginable loss of her 3 daughters. So far, as you can see, it has raised more than $1 million. You can find a link to it on our website.
Wow. 1 million. Okay, this is another part that I thought was kind of interesting. Mom of girls, 3 girls, allegedly murdered by homeless dad, says he's a broken man, not a cold-blooded killer. The grief-stricken mom of 3 believes their homeless Army veteran dad is more a broken man than a cold-blooded killer after he allegedly murdered them. It's clear that something broke in him because no person can go out there and be a parent to 3 beautiful girls for 9 years, pretend like he loves them if he's intending to kill them for 9 years. The mom's lawyer, Ariana Kaiser, told the Post on Friday, speaking on behalf of the client Whitney. It's obvious something broke him. He's a broken human, like anybody who could commit such a heinous act is. I don't know the better way to put it, she said of Whitney's ex and the girl's dad, Travis Decker. When we covered that video, we did this live, and then we also posted it on the Clips channel. Oh, here she is. Let's do that. Let's take it. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Is this Rag?
Hi. This is Ragdoll.
More updates from
Thank you so
police
much for calling.
Ragdoll?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for calling. So tell me, what do you, the whole thing, you've been on PCT?
So yes, we hiked the majority of the PCT besides some burned zones that we couldn't hike.
From where to where? Like starting from where? Okay, so you're saying the whole route you've walked?
So we started at Campo, Mexico, and hiked
What?
all the way to Canada, the border of Canada.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Really? So what kind of supplies did you need to do that? Like,
Well, I did a special thing, and I dehydrated a bunch of meals for me and my husband. So I
wow.
dehydrated 150 meals for each of us, and then packaged them up in boxes and had my mom send them to the specific post offices that we would arrive at.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so it was about 25 boxes. And it was resupply boxes that we would hike into towns that have the post offices or stores that would supply us.
Very interesting. So you mailed it out ahead of time and you'd have these packages waiting for you, the dehydrated food along the path.
Yeah, so I would get to a point where I would get some reception and I'd call my mom, "Hey mom, we're going to be at so and so in 2 to 3 days, maybe 5 days. Can you send off the box to so and so address?" And she would send the pre-packaged box to us.
Wow. And so how long did it take you to cross the whole trail?
It took us about 180 days.
Wow.
Maybe 183. We started April 21st and we ended October 19th. So however many days that is.
Wow. And so what do you think about this guy? I mean, I guess since he's trained, this would be nothing for him probably. I mean, do you think he's actually on the path or he's probably like, nah, this is too popular? Is there a lot of people on there? Is it dense?
Honestly, right now there is a lot of people on the trail right now. It is very, very popular right now.
Wow.
I don't
So
know if he is. I don't know, but if he is and he joins the trail type of people, he could blend in because they are kind of, I mean, honestly, raggedy because it's so long of a distance in between towns. His expertise could really help him. So that I really don't know because I don't have any of that kind of expertise.
Right. Did you ever go off path or do you stay on the trail the whole time?
So when we would camp, we would always camp off trail. We would hike off trail so that the trail people could not see us. That was
okay.
If we could, I guess, if we could. There were parts of trail where it was cliff on one side, cliff on another, and you would just either have to hike or stop and sleep, I guess.
Interesting.
It really depends on the terrain and the location he's at for
Any
actually
animals out
camping
there
off.
too? Wild animals and stuff?
Oh yeah, bears,
Ooh.
mountain lion. We had at least 5 or 6 black bear encounters, maybe 2 mountain lion.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we had a mountain lion encounter that tried to stalk me because I would hike first because I was shorter and my stride was shorter, and we think the mountain lion tried to stalk me and then saw my
Really?
husband.
Oh shit.
Yes, and
Wow.
then it ran off, and we saw the fawn color between the rocks, which is indicative of a mountain lion. But bear encounters, oh yeah, we had multiple, which were all very gracious. They were all very, very good. They were not
Yeah, like aggressive
bad.
or
Yeah,
something.
no,
I
all
think black bars
always.
are they're not really aggressive like compared to brown bears, I thought, or
No, black bears are very much docile. They're we call them like big squirrels. Like if they hear
uh,
you, they're gonna run off
uh
normally.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
don't think he'd be on this path. Seeing how busy it is, and then even when I look on
it
YouTube, there's a bunch of
is.
people. I never even heard of this. It sounds kind of cool because I like hiking too. I've never done
Oh,
anything like this, nowhere near anything
it's
like this, you know.
if anybody has the privilege, the accommodations to do it, it absolutely. I 100% suggest people do it. It will change your life. Um, it's community. It's amazing. Like, and then you get to another town and their community, and then you move to another town and their community, and it's just this. I don't know. It's amazing. If any of our viewers have the privilege and the accommodations to do it, I highly suggest it.
Okay. And how's the weather over there? I mean, I guess it depends, obviously, like what time of the year and stuff. But how was it for you? When did you go? Like, what season
So
did you go?
it kind of depends. So normally we start in April or May, and that also depends on the snowpack coming
Mm,
into the Southern California mountains, because the PCT stays in the mountains. It doesn't sound like it would, but it does. So it travels through the desert and then it goes right up into the mountains. So as long as the snowpack isn't too bad, you can start early April, maybe late May. It kind of depends. Um,
mm. You
but
have to
then
deal with
yeah,
elevation over there too, I guess. They got elevation.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Uh,
It's honestly, it's the trail itself is mostly uphill. It doesn't sound like it would
Oh,
be, but
yeah.
it's a lot of it is uphill, or at least that's that's how I felt. It was a
Beautiful.
lot of uphill, a lot of mountains. The San Jacinto mountain is intense. Um, that's in the southern area.
Mm. Very interesting. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing the insight. It looks beautiful. I was playing like a video of the some guy taking the whole
Yeah.
trail along the way. It's very interesting, and yeah, there's a lot of wildlife. I guess I read two snakes, sometimes snakes.
Hmm. Many snakes, yes. Lots
Mm,
of snakes, yes. Rodents when we sleep would be a nuisance. Um, yeah,
mm,
it's a wonderful experience. If anybody could do it, they should do it. Or if they want to do it, they should do it.
mm.
It's
So it's
great.
dangerous. Like if you get off path, it can be. I'm sure if he's out there in the wheel, I mean, he knows what he's doing. But if you were to get lost out there, it's a pretty dangerous place to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, especially the San Jacinto Mountains area, that is known to be a loss of life on trail. There's
Mm,
multiple people who have lost their life on trail the same year that we did it, and the previous year, and the year after as well. It can the snowpack melting can make the rivers really dangerous to cross. Um, the
I was just
whitewater
reading that. Yeah, the river
particularly.
and the creek crossings can be perilous, especially during high
Yeah,
water levels.
exactly. The Whitewater Preserve is notorious for
Mm.
being dangerous. That's actually where I spent my birthday. Was
Oh, nice.
in that little canyon right there. Um, yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Ragdoll. Appreciate the call. Thank you for
yeah,
calling and giving a little bit of insight of the area.
awesome.
And thank you for your support
Well, it's
as
good
well.
talking to you.
Yeah,
All
nice
right,
talking to you
thank you
too.
so much.
Thanks. All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. That was really nice. I appreciate that call, to get a this honestly seems kind of cool. I don't know if I could do 2,000. This is the length of this thing is from Mexico up is 2,600 miles. It sounds like, I mean, I don't know. I got my daughters. I don't got I couldn't probably do that. But maybe when she gets older. This, I don't know. I kind of like outdoors and adventure. I'd have to have a gun though, for sure. I don't think I can't just walk out there with all the animals they have out there. But yeah, I don't think he's on this path. He would have. I would have thought he would have to be out in the wilderness off a trail. But maybe that's the general area that they're searching. Um, this is okay. The Google search terms we talked about that. Uh, oh, the Whitney Decker thing. I think he's talking to me. So the thing with Whitney Decker, the guy definitely has some type of problems, right? And then when we covered this on iCkEdMeL clips, there was a section where they went into the timeline of the court orders and broke down his. You could literally kind of like while reading that, kind of see like his mental decline. We did. I clipped it on
November
this one,
14th.
but this video here, this whole, I thought it was kind of deep. It kind of shows his decline, but also like that Whitney cares about him. And like she feels like he loves his kids, as twisted as that sound, I don't know, but like he didn't get the help he needed as a vet, and he had this mental decline, and she started restricting his visitation rights, and she's like, well, you need to start doing this, you need to go to a therapist, you need to go. I forgot what she said. She was kind of clamping down a little bit because she, at the same time, she's worried about her kid's safety, and she's kind of trying to push him. Okay, man, go get some help. Whitney's attorney asked Travis to receive a domestic violence evaluation and psychiatric assessment. I also think she's grieving. Obviously, she's grieving, but she's here saying, according to the post, the attorney speaking for her, that he's more of a broken man than a cold-blooded killer. Well, I think he's both. I mean, both can be true too. But I guess she's trying to say, I don't understand it. You can never put yourself in somebody's head like this. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't excuse it either, because somebody commented earlier too. He said he's a vet and with he has like struggles with PTSD and says he would never do that. But it's hard to even think what would drive somebody to do something so evil. And not only that, it wasn't just like a spur of the moment. This was like planned. It was plotting his route, his escape, the day before the murders, the Google searches. Whitney, who divorced Decker 2 years ago, said her ex been seeking mental health help from Veteran Affairs and Veteran Crisis Line to deal with his post-traumatic stress disorder and borderline personality disorder. If Travis had been able to get the help that he was seeking, that he was reaching out for, then those girls would still be alive, her lawyer asserted. So she's saying that he was getting some type of help. Here it says, seeking mental health help from Veteran Affairs. And I don't know if they meant to say had he been, or if it seems like they're saying he was. I don't know. Said her ex been seeking help from Veteran Affairs and Veteran Crisis Line to deal with the post-traumatic stress disorder and borderline personality disorders. If Travis had been able to get help that he was seeking and that he was reaching out for, those girls would be still alive. There is not one instance that shows that Travis did not love those girls and was not a loving, active father. He struggled with mental health. Yes, we knew that. Whitney knew that he'd struggled with it their entire marriage. Damn, dude. He never raised his voice to those girls. He never hit them. He never took off with them before, the lawyer said. Under a court-ordered parenting plan agreed on after the couple split in 2022, Decker was allowed to take the girls every other weekend for several hours at a time. The mom insisted that Travis, who was living out of his truck and motels for roughly a year after his trailer was repossessed, never violated the terms of the agreement until last Friday. I have seen, unfortunately, some criticism of her on social media that, let's be real, he murdered his children. Yes, absolutely. She's not delusional. She's well aware of that. She knows who Travis is and his core, and is completely different than who he is as the person that struggles with complex PTSD and borderline personality disorder, as the person who served as an Army Ranger in combat. The lawyer also argued that the deaths could have been prevented if police had taken Decker's mental health into account and listened to Whitney's pleas to issue an Amber Alert. The thing is, I mean, they say hindsight is 20/20, and I think they should have issued an Amber Alert. But she also said herself that she never thought that he would do something like this, that he would harm those kids. So who could have seen this? I mean, he did have a history. Maybe he did have a guy was spazzing out. He did have a history. The neighbor said that she had a cast on her arm, like a broken arm, even though she had told the course that he never hit her. And then that neighbor said that Travis had like a bruise on his face. Was he lying? Was he telling the truth? I don't know. The Amber Alert, would that have prevented the murders? I don't think so. I think in that case they should have issued it out, but I don't think it would have prevented it. He planned this shit. Maybe he would have been caught sooner. Maybe he would have been caught a little bit sooner. Maybe. I don't know. Possible. Maybe. But he went the day. He'd been planning for days. Who knows? He's probably been planning for longer than a couple days, because we got the Google search. Oh, we're going to talk about the car thing too. Is coming up. He was kicked out of the military, and I think he lied about he wasn't really a ranger. I think what's what the former person said, he wasn't a ranger. Whitney is calling for reforms to Amber Alert laws and the mental health resources available to veterans in the state. What Whitney believes is that the girls would still be alive if our veteran system and the resources, the mental health resources available to our veterans, was adequately funded. And I think they should get all the funding they need, for the vets and all that stuff. They should get the help they need. Ultimately, what killed those girls was Travis's mental health issues. He had sought out emergency services. Of course, we didn't find out until after he went missing, but we found out that he had reached out, for emergency services for veterans. So they're saying he reached out, supposedly. We all know that the military is good when you're in the military about helping you with things like housing, schooling, and all of those things. But when you get out of the military, there's no one to help you, she added. Man.
Accused of killing his 3 children in Washington state. Brett Lemoyne shows us the plea from a family member here in Wisconsin as we're learning more about the suspect.
On Thursday, investigators in Washington state urged homeowners in 5 remote counties to lock their doors. Trails and parks are now closed to the public. It's all part of the search for Travis Decker.
Our primary goal is to track him down.
Deputies announced a $20,000 cash reward for any information leading to Decker's arrest.
We have been in touch with agencies, of course, across the nation, and just tracking down leads. We are aware of other connections he has.
Decker is a Pewaukee native and graduated from Pewaukee High School. In a phone conversation Friday, Decker's former father-in-law in Lake Geneva pleaded, quote, "I want Travis Decker found." A former Army squad mate told our Seattle affiliate Decker was, quote, an outcast and a narcissist. A GoFundMe to help the children's mother, Whitney, cover expenses and legal costs has surpassed $1 million.
Whitney is living every parent's worst nightmare. The hole in her heart is immeasurable. There are no words that can capture the weight of this loss.
Investigators say Decker kidnapped his 3 daughters last Friday. On Monday, 5-year-old Olivia, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 9-year-old Peyton were found dead at the Rock Island campground outside Leavenworth, Washington. Investigators say the preliminary cause of death for each was asphyxiation. Decker lived.
The wife, well, the ex-wife, Whitney, called him, said he was narcissistic as well.
Out of his truck. The vehicle was found, but there's still no sign of him.
But ultimately, he will be brought to justice.
Earlier this week, Decker's brother told me by telephone he doesn't know what could have been going through Decker's mind. He says they haven't spoken in years.
Damn.
Reporting in
I haven't spoken with the brother in years.
Brett Lemoyne, Fox 6 News.
Yeah.
Decker was a wrestler while attending Pewaukee High School. His brother told us Decker graduated in 2010. All right, we got breaking news we're following here at 5 Live.
So they're saying this guy could be traveling along or near the Pacific Crest Trail. I guess because they think he's heading to Canada. Over this already.
It also includes the girl's mother, Whitney. Friends of hers today made it clear that she truly supports the support and the help she is receiving from friends and family and others throughout this entire Wenatchee Valley. New video shared with us shows the fun these 3 sisters had together. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia described by family members as shining brightly with creativity, confidence, and joy.
There are no words that can capture the weight of this loss.
We ache with the love we still carry for them, and we always will.
Families of the Wenatchee Valley expressing their pain and sorrow with handwritten notes, stuffed animals, and tricolor hearts.
This valley helped nurture the creativity, confidence, and joy that Peyton and Evelyn and Olivia shined so brightly.
Family friends Amy Edwards and Mark Belton tell us the girl's mother, Whitney, is grieving the unimaginable with an immeasurable hole in her heart. Is there anything that people watching can do to help in any way?
So there is a group, and we ask that they look that up on Facebook, where they can see ways that they can support this movement.
For the moment, they say cards and donations will help Whitney as she helps investigators. But the greater conversation on preventing these tragedies continues, centered around immediately getting mental help to those in need.
But Travis couldn't get those things. He tried, he reached out to some resources.
Whitney's attorney told us they've now learned Travis Decker reached out to the VA for help, but the hoops he needed to connect with those resources, she said, were so great.
I could believe that. I could believe that. And there's some people that left me comments on some of the videos, the live streams that I've posted, and have said that. And we talked about that in that video on the live stream that we did, and I clipped it for the Clips channel, the mental health video. I think it's a really good video. If you haven't seen that video, it's on iCkEdMeL Clips. The one where they talk about the orders, the history. You can go into the history. You can kind of see a little bit of his decline and what the mother was describing. And we were talking about that if you're going through all this mental health issues, if you're kind of losing it, you're not going to want to be jumping through hoops of fire to try to get the help there. Maybe you'll call once or twice, or you try to do whatever it is. But like, if you got me jumping through all these hoops, I'm not going to want to deal with this shit. It shouldn't take so much to get help, the help that you need. The red tape, yeah, the red tape. That's what they said. Yeah, the red tape.
Especially someone with mental health struggles really cannot do that on their own without an advocate.
That is really part of the work moving forward, making sure those who need the help have easy access to it.
He can say that he reached out, but there is now a way for her to check. He could have lied to her about getting help, or maybe he reached out. Imagine he was so twisted in his head that he reached out just to try to cover himself and be like, well, I reached out, and not really wanting to get help, but just called just to say he did, you know?
Before we begin with breaking news, as the manhunt for Travis Decker continues in Chelan, who was in the same Army platoon as Decker.
But we do.
Curiosity and spirit left a mark on all of us. They were the kind of children that everyone rooted for, looked forward to seeing, and held close in their hearts. They are cherished, not just by the family, but by our entire community who watched them grow, perform, learn, and love. We ache with the love we still carry for them, and we always will.
Whitney is living every parent's worst nightmare. The hole in her heart is immeasurable. There are no words that can capture the weight of this loss. Right now, she's surrounded by friends, family, and neighbors doing everything they can to hold her up.
To the media, we ask for grace at this time. Whitney is grieving the unimaginable. Should she not have to do so under a spotlight? Please allow her the space and privacy and compassion that she deserves. Your restraint is a true act of humanity, and we appreciate it. We are focused on fully cooperating with investigators so that Travis Decker is found, apprehended, and brought to justice. This case is ongoing, and all legal updates will come from law enforcement.
The generosity we've seen from right here in the Wenatchee Valley and nationwide has not only brought comfort during this heartbreaking time, it also sparked some important conversations. We're talking about how we raise awareness and advocate for improvements to the Amber Alert system, and how we address and expand access to mental health resources for veterans, especially in the context of family and custody cases. While nothing can undo this tragedy, we're hopeful that these conversations will lead to change that honor Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn's memory.
We end with a message shared by mothers all across the world. When one mother cries, we all cry and hold her in our heart. Thank you for holding Whitney in your hearts now.
Thank you.
Is there anything that people watching can do to help in any way?
So there is a group, and we ask that they look that up on Facebook, where they can see ways that they can support this movement. I'll take no further questions. Thank you.
Might be armed.
Young daughters. Their bodies were found near a campground earlier this week. And in Arkansas, authorities calling in reinforcements to look for an escaped murderer and rapist known as the Devil in the Ozarks, who's been on the run for nearly 2 weeks. Searches.
Missing. So bringing in this backup, sensible thing to do after 2 weeks without a trace of him. Additional federal resources have been assigned to try to track down this killer. This specialized team is known as BORTAC, Border Patrol Tactical Unit. They're highly skilled, lethal, and have experience finding dangerous fugitives in rugged terrains exactly like the Ozarks. News Nation, in fact, has witnessed remote mountain cabins to actually lock their doors and turn on all of their outdoor lights. This new photo of Decker just released that shows off his bright and colorful tattoos. We're told new digital search warrants have also been executed on his electronics, so authorities say they have new information to go off on their search. Also, a massive new search area that includes dozens of trails and campsites. It's now closed off to the public while this manhunt continues.
All right, Alex Capriello, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our
doors, that's the warning as the manhunt. Lock your doors, that's the warning as the manhunt continues for the dad accused of killing his 3 young daughters. Authorities are also advising local citizens to keep blinds and curtains open.
I don't understand that.
And leave exterior lights on at night.
Why leave your blinds open? So I guess to make him think there's somebody in there to make him not want to come inside? I don't know.
The advisory is going out to residents near the Pacific Crest Trail in Washington State, where the search is intensifying. 32-year-old Travis Decker is being sought for the suffocation deaths of 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia, seen in this exclusive video given to Inside Edition by their mom.
Olivia.
This shirtless photo shows Decker's identifying tattoos. He's an Army veteran who served in Afghanistan and may be suffering from PTSD. Authorities say he's well-versed in outdoor survival skills, which may give him an advantage in the mountainous terrain. Lenny DePaul is a former U.S. Marshal with the Fugitive Task Force.
How will his skills as an experienced survivalist help him evade authorities?
He's been trained well. He knows how to light a fire, a campfire at night. He knows how to get shelter, provisions, killing animals out there. He's probably found some water resources and whatnot. So he could be out there for months.
Meanwhile, the search continues for another high-profile fugitive. Former Police Chief Grant Hardin, known as...
That was caught. Crazy, 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 crazy. Let's do the car thing now. Just checking this. Oh, Rose. Maybe they should check the Bull River in Montana while searching for Travis Decker. One of the only things posted in his Facebook. Oh, Bull River. Bull River, Wenatchee. Bull River, Montana. Oh. Maybe the whole Google search and everything was planned to make them think he's on this trail and he's not really going down that trail. Because that's the opposite direction. Low Lake River. I think it's the opposite. Yeah, it's to the right, to the east. Social media. Oh my God. Are they, wait a minute. Are they trolling? Are they snapping at her? Are they taking a dig at her? Or I don't know. Social media trolls. What? Social media trolls are conducting their own deep dives into Decker and have basically suggested that a photograph he shared to Facebook in April could be a clue to his whereabouts. Bro! Does Rose know this? Hold up. I just texted her. Oh man. I don't think that was a bad suggestion. I would have looked into that. I mean, if he put something in his, I don't think that's a bad idea. I gotta send her the article. All right. Decker's online presence in the borderline non-existent, but he did post a few pictures of a deer skull last month. Okay. Decker's online presence is borderline non-existent. Okay. Decker joined the Army, U.S. Army in 2012. He served a tour in Afghanistan 2 years later, but by 2017, he had been removed from the Elite Ranger Regiment after he failed to complete Ranger School. By the time he joined the 173rd Airborne Brigade, which is known for conducting specialized airborne operations, including parachute jumps and air assault, he was quiet and a bit of an outcast. Decker never returned to Special Forces, and in 2021, he transferred to the Washington Army National Guard, where he rose to the rank of sergeant. He was listed as a full-time member of the Army National Guard until 2023 or 2024, to which he switched to part-time, which coincides with that whole timeline that we covered in that video about the basically like a custody battle or custody thing. But he stopped attending mandatory monthly drills a little over a year ago, and the guard is in the process of disciplinary discharge, so he stopped attending. Those who were close to Decker have since said he has suffered from complex PTSD and borderline personality disorder. After leaving active military service, his ex-wife Whitney says she knew her daughters were in substantial danger when Decker failed to return them home. And that's just... okay. The father of three was supposed to seek mental health treatment and anger management counseling as part of the parenting plan, but there was no sign he had followed through. Whitney stated in September divorce proceedings that he had been struggling to maintain stability since they separated and was beginning to affect their daughters. She said that at times he would have the girls sleep at the armory while he was in the National Guard despite her objections. She also said Decker was prone to outbursts and he would come into her house yelling for the girls, would sometimes fail to pick up after promising to do so. In one instance, Winnie wrote that her youngest daughter Olivia called her during a visit with Decker and said that she could not find her father before Evelyn came home with welts between her legs. The video that we covered, it didn't say anything about welts. This is the first time I saw that. And it's contradicting because then in the other instance, the mother said that, oh, well, he's never touched those girls. He's never even yelled at the girls. And then in this instance here, before Evelyn came home with welts between her legs. I do not want to keep Travis from the girls at all, Whitney wrote in the court filing. To the contrary, I have bent over backwards to facilitate that relationship, but I cannot have our girls staying in what is essentially a homeless shelter, at times unsupervised, with dozens of strange men, or staying in a tent and living in his truck with him, both in extreme temperatures and unknown areas for their safety. But still, Whitney reiterated to authorities how she did not believe her ex was dangerous. There you go. You see, she said the girls had a good relationship with Decker and enjoy their time with him, and noted that he had never failed to return the girls before. And that Friday, where he allegedly murdered the girls, he was quieter than usual, which was out of character for him. He had also allegedly been talking about getting rid of his dog. So he had a dog due to his housing and financial struggles. So you could tell somebody getting rid of their dog. Oh, you know something's up. It's charging. Okay. Okay, there's this. Oh, here we go. Let me do this. Got out people in the chat. What car accident? So, police called to collision involving triple murder suspect 2 days before kidnapping. So, he had gotten into a car accident. Triple murder suspect Travis Decker was involved in a rear end collision just 2 days before police say he kidnapped and murdered the 3 children. Newly obtained documents by Carol 7 show that an officer with the Wenatchee Police Department responded to a crash. I really would like to see body cam. That would be interesting. Responded to a crash at the intersection of Miller Street and 5th Street on Wednesday, May 28th at 3:52 a.m. Ooh, 4 in the morning. According to the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, a ping from Decker's phone on Thursday showed that Decker was at the campsite where his children were killed. So he was there the day before at the campsite. On Friday, deputies found their bodies. His white GMC Sierra pickup truck was also there with his wallet. According to the Wenatchee Police Department, that Wednesday morning, so you got to think, that Wednesday morning, the non-injury collision happened when Decker and his GMC was stopped at a red light behind another car. So they're both at red lights. When the light turned green, both vehicles began to move. The car then slowed for traffic ahead of it, and Decker rear-ended the car. Police noted that there was damage to the front end of Decker's truck and rear-end damage to the car. When Decker was interviewed, police said he admitted to not having car insurance. The officer cited Decker for $196 for following too closely and $559 for operating without a vehicle license, a vehicle without a license. Sounds like his life was going from bad to worse. He might have triggered him to take everything he cared about with him. Who knows? I feel like, I think Decker planned this shit. And while I do believe there's PTSD, I want to see if I can find that comment. Somebody left a good comment. I don't remember which video it was on. I don't know if it was the clips because we post so many videos now, and I don't even know. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if I can find that particular one. There was a good comment somebody left. PTSD is often, but not always, seen in military or first responders. Ambulance and emergency room workers or firefighters can suffer from it. This could be PTSD or something else. There was somebody that had a great comment about it. I think it's lost in the sea of comments, though. Let me check the main channel. Maybe it was on the main channel. Somebody was talking about the red tape and just all this bullshit that people have to go through. Well, somebody here said PTSD is not to be taken lightly. I went through 5 years of intensive PTSD treatment every other day at the doctor's, followed by another 2 years once a week. I was a total basket case. There can be a big price serving your country. One day you wake up and all hell breaks loose. Poof, you're gone. It took about 6 months to hit me. I hate crowds. Stay home. Very hard to work. I can't put up with BS. Hate being around guns. Quit hunting. Not who I was back then, but I know it, so I avoid the things that get me pumped up. Interesting. I think this guy Travis too. I think he planned it. I think well, somebody said mental health is not an excuse. I'm a veteran. This is the comment I was looking for, Melissa. I'm a veteran and have been deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. I have PTSD and anxiety and depression. I would never hurt my children. As for the rest, it is very common for a veteran to be homeless. It is extremely hard to adjust back to civilian life. It's hard to maintain a job because we aren't used to how normal job force is. I have felt very lost in my own journey back to the civilian life. There's a lot of red tape for getting help at the VA. In order to get through that red tape, you have to want the help. Yes, it's hard, but it's worth it. So that's my problem, is this red tape thing. And I agree, like there should be, whatever it is, there should be less red tape for somebody that really truly needs that help. I feel like they always just get help. Oh, just call this number, and it's really not what it is when you call that number or you go and reach out for help. You know, I think a lot of they need to get rid of that bullshit. Or make it less of a hassle or whatever it is. And so I think, I mean, I don't know what PTSD is like, not to the level of these military guys, you know, or these people that serve the country, or anybody that's gone through it for whatever reason. So it's hard for me to even imagine, like, well, what is it? Are there voices talking to you when you have PTSD? Like to go and kill somebody and then you say it's PTSD. Let me see. PTSD doesn't cause violence, but it can contribute to it. It's a mental health condition triggered by experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event like war, abuse, serious accidents. While most people with PTSD do not become violent, in rare cases, certain circumstances may heighten the risk. Emotional distress, flashbacks with dissociation, co-occurring disorders. If the reports are accurate, PTSD combined with narcissistic tendencies, isolation, survivalist thinking, and possibly emotional instability, it's a dangerous mix. But the final act would come from choices, not PTSD alone. I mean, is it an excuse? Is that, I don't know. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. I'm talking about as far as killing somebody, killing your own kids. PTSD doesn't cause someone to murder their kids, but untreated PTSD, especially when tangled up with narcissism, control issues. I wonder if it's a control thing. Yeah, I wonder if it's a combined thing. Especially tangled up with narcissism, control issues, or delusional thinking can twist a person's reality. Part of me is wondering it too. Like, is it part of him like taking control back? The courts, you know, the court system, his restricted visitation rights that he disagreed with, and it was getting more restricted, and now you have to get help. They were kind of squeezing him a bit, you know, squeezing him. And if you don't get help, you're not going to see your kids. That's what it was leading up to, and she even said that. But also him wanting to be in control, and this was his final way of taking control. You know, murdering these kids, running off and disappearing, I don't have to deal with that ticket. He ran
It's not
that day.
voices. It is being stuck in the traumatized moment. Veterans like myself are forever stuck in war, in our minds.
Star Fury, thank you for the 5. And thank you for your service and your support. It's not voice, it's like being stuck in a traumatized moment. Stuck forever in war. I could understand that. Or like loud sounds too, like you're just in your home and like something loud or some bang or some type of loud ass, I had these neighbors too that are like always, I know this is probably exaggeration, but they're always slamming the door, just always just boom, 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 like every time. They have no like whatever. They never hold the door. It's this loud bang that like vibrates. I remember one morning I woke up and I just started opening and slamming the door. Boom, 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 boom. Just thinking like, maybe it's too much for me to think that these people would have any kind of awareness of the effect that they're having on other people. But, so I started banging thinking like maybe they'll hear it and be like, oh my God, maybe that's what I sound like. Maybe I should have. But no, of course, they didn't do shit. But imagine if I had PTSD, well, what have I done? Right? Motherfucker! Maybe I would have screamed and like fucking like, I don't know. I don't know. Probably like an exaggeration example. But anyway, yeah, but as far as the kids, I still don't get it, right? I don't understand how you come and kill your kids. PTSD plus control. People with narcissistic traits and PTSD often experience threats to control as personal attacks. So that whole thing with the custody situation, if he felt he was losing his children in court or feared the mother moving on, that's another thing too. Feared the mother moving on, his PTSD could have amplified his feelings of betrayal and abandonment, turning pain into rage. In his distorted mind, ending his kids' lives might have felt like taking control back or punishing the mother. That's what I was thinking too. A couple people, some lady had said that in the comments, like maybe this was his way of like punishing the mom, like and taking control. Yeah. My thing is too, it's like when people do horrendous, heinous acts like this, like do they feel remorse after? Like does Travis feel anything after the fact? Like him, if he's alive and he's out in the woods right now in the dark and the night, there's a 3-hour difference, but it's probably still daylight right out there maybe, but it's starting to, no, it's still daylight. Maybe dusk as the sun starts to set. Does this guy feel anything in his heart, any kind of remorse, any empathy, like any like, oh my God, what the hell, or no, doesn't feel nothing. He's just continuing on, with his plan. I don't know. There's also something here. It says trauma reenactment is severe PTSD, especially stemming from military service. There's a thing called trauma reenactment where someone recreates the chaos or helplessness they once lived through. In some tragic cases, this leads people to inflict harm, thinking they're rescuing or protecting their loved ones. Wow, that's crazy. I had never heard of that before. Trauma reenactment. In some tragic cases, this leads people to inflict harm, thinking they're rescuing or protecting their loved ones from a perceived future threat. Decker was trained with military survival and reportedly obsessed with control, the wilderness, escape routes. That mindset can spiral into paranoia. The system is against me. I need to disappear. Maybe so, yeah. No one else can have them. I can't. If no one else can have them, I can't. That's not PTSD alone. It's delusional control mixed with untreated trauma. So maybe it's maybe it's a combination of things, but it doesn't necessarily mean somebody with PTSD is going to go out and start committing heinous acts like this. It's a very serious thing, though. Yeah, it's a very serious condition, but it doesn't mean. But at the same time, too, if there's families out there dealing with this, I might kind of start side eyeing. I'd be a little concerned too for my loved one and for my own safety and well being. Not knowing are they going to snap or something else. I don't know. one person commented, it said it took them years to get the help that they needed well, there were years in therapy. So yeah, that's crazy. All right, so I want to see a little bit, just a quick thing about so he got into this car accident. So he got into this car accident May 28th at 3:52 a.m. That was a Wednesday, I believe. Thursday, he goes and scouts the area and visits the area before murdering the girl. This was definitely premeditated, planned. And I was thinking with this guy, when he got into the accident, he was probably already thinking about the murder and how he's going to do it. He wasn't even focused on his driving. And so he ran into somebody else's car. That probably distressed him even more and sent him over the top. I wonder if there's any more information about this car accident. A closer look at the relationship with his daughters. Let's see. Oh.
Would have been supported in his mental health struggles. Of course, he never would have murdered his babies.
And we do begin at 5 with the statewide manhunt for Travis Decker, the Wenatchee father accused of kidnapping and killing his three daughters.
Attorney, I believe.
This afternoon, we're learning Decker may have been planning something at least a week before disappearing. A federal affidavit obtained by Cairo 7 says Decker Googled how to move to Canada days before the kidnapping. It is day 7 of the search now, and deputies say they are narrowing down the search to Chelan and surrounding counties, really focusing on the mountains, and that's thanks to more than 500 tips from the public.
And today we are seeing exclusive new photos and videos of Decker and his daughters. It is heartbreaking, but it's giving us a glimpse at what their relationship might have been like. Kara 7's Brooke Griffin has been following this story since the beginning. She is live now in Wenatchee. And Brooke, what are you learning about the Decker family?
Yeah, since the very beginning of the week, we've been in touch with Whitney Decker and her trusted friends and family. And they say that the reason this situation is just taking everyone by such surprise, including her and her family members, is because they truly never saw this coming.
Okay. Oh, okay, Abby's next.
A camera roll full of happiness. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker, all smiles. Whitney Decker even giving us this video, a Father's Day gift to Travis.
He was going to all the girls' dance, soccer practices, everything, you name it. He was being very active.
Whitney's attorney, Ariana Kotsar, giving us a glimpse into the Decker girls' lives.
Whitney would tell you Travis loved 2 things in this world, those girls and Jesus. That was Travis.
But she says a lot changed after Afghanistan.
He was able, I think, to keep it together for the girls. But, you know, he certainly wasn't kind to her. And he struggled, I think, with feeling that he was worth a family, that his life was worth that.
She tells us he is diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and struggles with PTSD.
And he sought resources. A lot of that we didn't know before he abducted the girls.
She says those veterans' resources are crumbling.
They haven't been able to see new veterans, any new patients for 6 months.
Leaving Decker without the help he needed.
I know Whitney believes that these children would not be dead if our government, our military, if our veterans would have been supported.
And right now, Whitney Decker is not ready to speak about this horrifying situation. But her attorney says that when Whitney is ready, she's going to want to talk about those veterans' mental health benefits and try to advocate for them to be better and maybe even just fix a little bit in some areas.
I think it's a good idea. So for to work on that, the veterans' mental health. And so they were saying also he was diagnosed with personality disorder, borderline personality disorder. And so that combination, of course, I'm not no mental health expert, but I guess that combination as well. Borderline personality disorder, it says it's marked by intense fear of abandonment, unstable personal relationships, idolizing someone one moment and hating them the next. Sounds like I'm just kidding. Extreme emotional swings, impulsive, often self-destructive behavior, distorted self-image, episodes of rage, paranoia, or disassociation under stress. How could that play into the fear of abandonment? At the core of borderline personality disorder is the terror of being left or rejected or replaced. If Travis thought he was going to lose custody, that could be a whole big thing of it. Yeah. He had his custody restricted recently. He felt he was going to get cut off. He was going to lose full custody of the kids, like lose the custody of lose his daughter's love or lose control over the family dynamic. That fear could have spiraled into desperation. In severe cases, some of the BPD feel that if they can't have someone, no one should. Black and white thinking. BPD often causes people to see others in extremes, all good or all bad. He may have once idolized his kids or their mother, then suddenly seen them as enemies when things didn't go his way. That mental shift can lead to rageful acts, especially if he believed he was being betrayed. Oh, my phone blowing up. No. Impulsivity and rage. BPD can lead to uncontrollable emotional outbursts, acting without thinking, and later deep regret or denial. Maybe denial. Someone in this mental state might not plan a murder traditionally. They might act in the moment of emotional explosion. But he definitely thought about this, though. Most people with BPD are not violent. Wow. So there's riots going on right now. It's been going on for a couple hours now in Los Angeles. We'll just take a look. I heard about this earlier. I've covered everything I wanted to tonight with regards to the story. I was kind of curious to know if there was a little bit more about the accident. Car accident. His behavior, his demeanor. Yeah, this is some oh wow, this looks crazy. You guys want to chill and cover the raid a little bit? The ICE raid? Los Angeles. We'll go to a new stream. What's that, the police? Did they run off the police inside the building? They scared? Wow. What's going on? Why are the cops in there? Oh, there's people all over the streets and stuff. Kind of hungry. Haven't eaten in hours. Okay, let's do this. We make a new stream so we can keep this separate because I'd like to keep the Travis Decker stuff all together, nice and neat. So I'm starting a new stream. Wow. Look at this. What's going on? They're crazy. Don't use that word crazy, Mel. My mother would call me crazy when I was growing up. The ICE raids and protests. All right, we're going to start a new stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this evening, Friday, Felony Friday. I wanted to just, update a bit of that story. I'm kind of intrigued about this Travis thing. And it feels like kind of the mother still has, sympathy and empathy for Travis, even with the murders and everything that took place. Man, they took over. They took over the streets. Look at that. Ain't no cops. The cops are running. Wow, so they ran the cops into the building? All right, let's check it out. We got to see. Maybe there's got to be some radio too. Let me transfer everybody first. If you're on any of the other platforms, I'm going to start a new stream. I'm going to do YouTube first, all right? YouTube, let me drop the link in the chat in case you don't get transferred. Teleported. You don't get teleported. You know what happened last night, right? I pulled out a USB cable and the whole computer went down. I couldn't get the computer